Former Knicks GM Scott Perry has proposed an absurd idea for the New York Knicks in regards to their starting center position, and we have to talk about it. So, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we are going to jump right into things as we always do, because former Knicks GM Scott Perry, who we all remember in our own way, has made a proposal to the New York Knicks that they should start Taj Gibson. Yes, that Taj Gibson. The same Taj Gibson that we all know and love very much because he's Taj, he's the man, he's the Knicks version of Udonis Haslem. The Heat weren't starting Udonis Haslem under any circumstances outside of the COVID season. So let's not do that at all. But let's look at the quote from Scott Perry. He was on the Hoop Genius podcast, which he guests on frequently, every Monday, I believe, or something like that. Here's what the tweet says. Former Knicks GM Scott Perry on Hoop Genius. Huge blow losing Mitchell Robinson. He clears up so many of the mistakes that occur and is the best offensive rebounder in the NBA today. Taj is going to give you smarts. That's a security blanket for Tibbs. Taj is 38. He's undersized for the center position, but you could start him at some point and extend Hartenstein's minutes off the bench. We'll see. Rim protection is huge and very important to Tibbs. And that guy he had in the middle, Mitchell Robinson, for the last few years has done it as well as any big man in the league. I agree about the Mitch thing with the exception of Rudy Gobert, who's just the best rim protector in the NBA. But Mitch is right up there in that top tier of rim protectors, there's no doubt. But now Mitch is gone. He's hurt. We're not going to see Mitchell Robinson play basketball till October. And with that, I'm going to quit Knicks Digest. Bye, guys. No, but for real, it sucks that Mitch is gone. And I understand that Scott Perry is not saying play Taj Gibson 30 minutes a game. He's saying start Taj Gibson because Hartenstein looks really good off the bench. And I agree that I want to keep Hartenstein off the bench, and that's why we're going to come out with a video talking about many guys who the Knicks can acquire in some way to try to stop Hartenstein from being the starter, even if he plays more minutes. So stay tuned for that in the future. But right now, I don't think there is any argument to playing Taj Gibson at all. If you guys remember that game against the Nets, 5 minutes into playing, his hands were on his knees. He was panting. He was out of breath. He even said it in an interview after. He was like, yeah, I was out of breath. The young guys were making fun of me. Look, that's fine. Taj is there for depth. He's there because he's got good vibes. He's helpful. He's an extension of the coaching staff. I don't mind the Knicks having Taj Gibson on the team. I actually sort of like it. I'm happy Taj is there. I love Taj. I'm a big fan. The man just embodies that New York grit and spirit. But at this point in his career, he is what Udonis Haslem was to the Heat for 500 years. And that's fine. But the Knicks cannot be starting him against NBA centers. What if they started him against the Philadelphia 76ers? You think Embiid is not going to just go for 65 points? Because he will. He will. So I really think the Knicks should not do this. This is an incorrect decision by Scott Perry. And if you look right here, these are Taj's stats through 4 games. 1 point, 1.5 rebounds, 0 assists. He's shooting 40% from the field and has a PER of 5.9. Obviously, it's very clear that in those 4 games he has not really played. But still, I mean, he hit an elbow jump shot against the Nets when he was wide open. But that doesn't mean you should start the guy. There's so many teams that if Taj Gibson started against, the Knicks would be in a really poor situation. And they cannot afford to do that. They're going to have to keep starting Hartenstein as of right now. And hopefully they can go get someone who's like, I don't know, literally anyone else. I just don't think the Knicks should really be playing Taj at all. I think it's good that he's there. I think it's going to be helpful for Jericho Sims. Sims clearly has liked Taj in the past. Taj was here when Sims was a rookie. And clearly there was some sort of connection. Taj was good with him because Taj once upon a time was a power forward center, sort of a tweener, who despite not really being the greatest shooter, which he's improved upon in subsequent years, he could dunk well, he could get in the paint well, he was athletic, at one point. But now he's 38. You're not expecting a 38-year-old to be athletic unless it's the guy right behind me over there. So there's really no need for Taj Gibson to be playing. I think he's there to mentor, or that's what he should be there to do. He should be there to just give Hartenstein whatever advice he can give Hartenstein. He should be there to help Jericho Sims grow into a guy who realistically can get minutes for the Knicks. Because so far, and again, I understand, I saw the comments. I understand that Jericho Sims is coming into a situation that he was not supposed to be into, where he goes from not playing any minutes to starting, and then he gets injured very quickly. I get it. Believe me, I understand why people were upset with me for saying that Jericho Sims does not look good enough to be playing. But also, as of right now, Jericho Sims does not look good enough to be playing as the Knicks starter. Could they play him 15 minutes a game off the bench? Sure. Why not? I'm all for it. But when you look at him against starting centers, there is a discrepancy in talent. And that's not Jericho's fault. If he got minutes, if he was the backup center for the last few years, say Isaiah Hartenstein was not signed, and I'm not saying the Knicks should not have signed Hartenstein. They absolutely should have. But if you're looking at the Knicks, and if you're looking at Jericho Sims, if he was Mitch's backup for the last few seasons, yeah, I think he would be ready to be a starter for right now. However, that's not the case. He has not gotten minutes. He's come in rusty, obviously. He was never really in the rotation at all. And now he's being asked to play huge minutes to start on the New York Knicks, where you're going to have to go against the best centers in the world. The Knicks division alone has guys such as Porzingis, who would be matchup hell for Jericho, or Joel Embiid, who's going to win MVP as of right now this season. There's so many guys, and then Nick Claxton, I think that's one of the favorable matchups because Sims can jump and he's bouncy and is a good box out guy. But really, I don't love that. And even Pirtle, like, who has his faults, he's definitely more skilled than Jericho as of right now. Like, the Knicks division alone is going to cause problems. Now the Knicks are playing the Bucks back-to-back. I'm filming this directly before the Bucks game, the first one starts on December 23rd. Back-to-back games, the Knicks are going to have to play the Bucks. Obviously, Jericho Sims is hurt and will not be playing in these games, but if he were, he would probably be starting against Giannis and Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is one of the most skilled big men in the league, who's excellent at dragging guys out of the paint. Jericho Sims does not want to be dragged out of the paint, though his perimeter defense is actually very good for a center, especially a backup center. Sims has very good perimeter defense. But Giannis, like that, I don't know. I just don't think Jericho Sims is the option, but that doesn't mean that Taj Gibson is the option. I think it's very clear what has to happen, and that's the Knicks need to make some sort of trade. Because the center, Hartenstein is good, and he can start, and I think because of him starting now, he's going to get a good payday in the offseason where he leaves the Knicks. Then the Knicks are going to have Mitchell Robinson. They're going to need someone to back him up. Tibbs would probably prefer if it's someone who plays exactly like Mitchell Robinson, because that's just what he wants to do. Remember, at the start of last season, he started playing Hartenstein like he was Mitch, and Hartenstein was not playing very well. He also had plantar fasciitis, though, so few reasons for that. But really, I don't think they should start Taj Gibson. I don't really think they should be playing Taj Gibson. It's fine playing Jericho Sims 15 minutes a night, but he cannot match up with NBA starting centers. And Hartenstein works with the bench unit. So, yeah, the Knicks need to go out and get someone else. I mean, if you're going to get someone, anyone who's a former Knicks center to start, get this guy. Get Nerlens Noel. And I'm not into that idea. Obviously, his stats have gone down, but also his minutes have gone down. He had a good season with the Knicks in 2020-21 when Mitch got hurt. He averaged like 5 points, 6 rebounds, 2.2 blocks. Like, his rim protection was decent, but he also got tore up by Clint Capella in the playoffs. The Knicks just are going to need to make a trade because this is not working. What they have right now is not going to be good enough. And if you roll with this center unit for the rest of the year, you're going to have trouble getting out of the first round of the playoffs. And that's really all there is to it. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Happy holidays. Have a very good day. Hopefully the Knicks beat the Bucks. Go Knicks.